What is up, YouTube? Skiz1 here. Welcome to episode 10 today of Sticker Sesh. I'm used to saying Sticker Sesh Saturdays, but it's Thursday today. We're doing one on a Thursday. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, Sticker Sesh Thursday, but we are doing it regardless. In case any of you missed the last stream, I know there's always a few people that want to make it, don't make it. What's up, Vomit Gore? Rake, good to see you guys. But yeah, I'll go through the stickers I did on last stream just to... Well, let me mute myself here. I'm at the stream myself. I don't want to hear my own voice while I'm trying to talk. But yeah, I'll go through the stickers I did last time here. Yeah, so got a few done. We also did a sketch last time. The sketch took up most of our stream last time. Gotta just find it here. I did mean to start this stream earlier in the day today, but I had a lot of unexpected stuff to take care of. We did our 4K piece last time as well, but today we're 100% focusing on our sticker game. That's what we got. So let me know what you guys are up to. If you guys are doing the same, doing some slaps, doing black book pieces, anything like that. As I always say, that's the funnest thing to do when you're watching a stream. Join in, do like a little online writer's bench, get some stuff going, you know? Jacob, what's up? Lewis, good to see you again. So as always, we got our nice 2" by 4" cheap dollar store stickers here, and that's what we're working with as always. I try and mention it as much as possible because I know someone's always wondering what kind of stickers. Yeah, Vomit, actually I'm pretty happy with the 4K piece. For how quickly I sort of threw that together, it didn't turn out too bad at all. Vomit, you got the right idea. Getting the sketchbook out. Mark, what's up? Draco, what up? So yeah, I'm just like to start out simple with these slaps, you know? The best way to, like, I mean, people don't really consider this, but if you're gonna, like, do something good, quote-unquote good, but what I mean by that is, like, if you're gonna try and do a piece that you think is gonna be a good piece for you, that's gonna take a lot of skill, a lot of people don't think to, like, just throw down some throwies first, or do some simple stuff first, and it's almost like a warm-up. Like, it would be a natural thing to think of as, like, if you're an athlete, do a good warm-up for a competition. But it's almost the same thing with graph. You want to do sort of a good warm up your mind, throw down some simple styles first before you get too complex with anything. So that's what I'm doing here a little bit. Try and do a couple one color slaps here. Nothing too fancy, but it's always good. Always good to remind yourself of the simple steps, the simplistic stuff before you get into the more wild stuff. Andrew. Oh, nice. ABH. for anyone who wasn't around about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when I was hosting the last graffiti tournament that happened, ABH Creations here was, I believe, in the semifinals. He had some killer work that he entered into our graffiti tournament that we did. Trying to put a nice little drop shadow on this sticker. As I said, nothing complicated yet. We may be getting out some of our style hats soon, putting on the style hats. Trying to figure out a bit more complex stuff here. I know I just said this was going to be a one color thing, but I'm already feeling like I need to spice it up. It's amazing how much brighter a piece can look, or how much more you can make it stand out just by adding a second color. Makes such a huge difference. And the same goes for adding a third color with compared to a second color, and that's part of what I was talking about last time, if anyone was here, when we were talking about throwies, if they should be 2 colors or 3 colors. Same sort of thing. First little one here. Obviously thrown together pretty quickly, but like I said, sort of what we're doing today. Got my coffee. And let me tell you, when you have your coffee, life is good. So, by the way, as I had mentioned last stream as well, the thing I posted on the community tab about the battle, the upcoming 4,000 subscriber battle, lots of people voted on it. I think it had 26 votes last time I checked, most of which were in favor of a straight up graffiti battle. So I'm gonna give it a couple more days for people to vote. If anyone in here hasn't voted yet, head over to my community tab, vote on that if you're gonna be interested in entering the battle. And we're gonna figure out the format. There will be prizes, which I will announce what the prizes are sort of in the actual video, where I announce the rules of the battle, the word, that kind of thing. So if anyone still wants to get in on the voting for how we're gonna have this formatted, hit up my community tab on the channel. Francie I might do some other names a little bit later. Right now I'm working on some of my own stuff. You gotta remember, all the stickers that I'm doing on here are eventually ones that I sell, so like I do actually have to make some of these for people ordering sticker packs from me and that sort of thing. So usually at the end of the stream, you guys know this if you've been here for a while, we do a little roll call, get everyone's names up. But right now we're just doing our thing. Also, something I wanted to ask, and this is the nice thing about you guys being in here in these streams. This is where I ask questions sort of about my channel and get the feedback from you guys. So you guys sort of have like a bigger say in things that could be happening on my channel. And there was something I sort of wanted to ask you guys, which I'm completely forgetting right now. What the hell? What did I just want to ask? Oh, it's gonna piss me off. Oh, I know what it was. On these streams, currently we've done our Sticker Sesh streams, we do our Wild Style Wednesday type streams. We've also we tried a Tutorial Tuesday type live stream. That went okay. I don't know. Didn't seem like a huge hit. That being said, it didn't go bad. I tried a Q&A stream as well. I've had a few people who want me to review their stuff or sort of look at some of their pieces. So my question to the chat right now, I guess, is would anyone be interested in seeing a live stream where that's like reviews of some pieces that you guys submit or something like that? Because that might be something cool for a lot of people. Might be something helpful, you know? Will, what's up? Rake. So yeah, if you guys think like a sort of review stream would be cool, let me know in the chat, and I'll take that into consideration as well. Because whenever I get people asking, I always try and help them out on Instagram and stuff like that, but it's really hard sometimes to help people through text and like in DMs and Instagram and that kind of thing. And I feel like if enough people are interested, it would be cool to have like a stream like that, and I'd be able to give better feedback, and maybe other people in the community would too. Like our community has obviously got a lot of knowledgeable writers here, which is always nice. Also, it would be cool because, like, for me, when I was first starting off in Graph, there wasn't, like, Graph isn't huge in my area specifically, so I didn't really have a lot of people that could mentor me at all, or, like, anyone I could ask questions to, that sort of thing. And I know a lot of people are in the same situation and not necessarily need, but could benefit from a little bit of guidance. So that would be another good thing about that kind of stream. Will Striker, what's up? Hans, How's it going? So it looks like most of you guys are saying that would be a cool stream to do. I think it would too. The only thing I'd have to figure out is how submissions would work, like for review. If you guys have a specific idea of like how people might want to submit their stuff for review, let me know. It could be like you submit it by posting something on Instagram, putting it under a hashtag that I look up. Oh, Hans, you got busted yesterday. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's never fun. Never fun at all. I feel you. Not at all. I hope everything works out okay for you, Hans. Because that's always a bad thing to have to deal with. Never nice, never nice. But yeah, if you guys think submissions through Instagram would work for that kind of stream, something else. That would be awesome. Just let me know. Yeah, Reddit's an idea vomit for sure. I would, yeah, probably anything where I can, like, I guess have it on a big screen, sort of, for us to look at. So, like, anything I can access from my computer that's convenient for everyone else would probably be ideal. I don't know how many people, like, is Reddit a big thing still? Like, I know it sort of is, but I have almost never used Reddit. How many people here use Reddit? Oh, ref, you made it for a little bit. Nice. I appreciate it. If you gotta run, you gotta run. Outlining with these brush markers is incredibly hard to get a consistent line with. So if anyone's wondering why my lines here are so strange looking, that's why. This is a brush tip. Great for the fill-ins, not so great for the outlines, but that's what we work with. Yeah, Lewis, I've never really been on Reddit, so I'm sure I would be at least initially confused with it too. Or I shouldn't say I haven't been on it. I've been on it a couple times. But yeah, I always considered it more of like a news site. I'm sure that's bad. I'm sure it's not like I know it's not an official like news site of any kind, really. I just associate it with news stuff. What are we thinking of this color combo too? Okay, Rake, I gotcha. Yeah, the name I write Skiz is only the one I write publicly. Like, if I were to write anything like elsewhere that I wasn't putting on YouTube and stuff, I sort of have a different name for that. It is important to have a good sort of unique name, though. Like if you think about it, you should sort of look into what names might be popular in your area when you're choosing one, that sort of thing. Because if it's already a word, it's more than likely that there's a few people who write the same thing. That's always a good rule to follow and assume. I like what Rake did here. If you take any word where you like the letters in the word and sort of try and figure out a way to rearrange it into a different word with those same letters, that's a really effective way of coming up with a name you like and one that's unique. It's always fun to have a name that you can spell several different ways too. One thing I was fooling around with was, instead of writing an I in Skiz, writing the letter Y instead. Can always add the ER on the end of most names. Skizzer. EN and R is a good letter combo to work with in the first place too. So one thing I noticed when I was in Melbourne was all the writers there. This is probably because of their accent that they have, but instead of like finishing their name with an ER, they'll finish it with an A, rather. And if you think about it, that's sort of how, like, you would picture someone from Australia pronouncing, like, an ER if they were to read a name like that over here. So it's funny how culture plays a bit of a role in what people name themselves and stuff. Hey Anthony, what's up? We're doing some stickers today. That's what's going on here. Feel free to get your black book out, Anthony. Hang around with us. What are we thinking of our color combo here? I'm still don't know what to spice it up with, really. I might do some inlines, do something a little different, maybe make some inlines here. If I have any of my fine liners available, here they are. Here's a question for the chat. Does anyone know what the difference between a highlight and an inline is? Most people, I would think, don't really know this. And there is a difference, apparently. Some people will get angry at you. Aw, Anthony, that's awesome. People should do that more often with their mothers. This inline doesn't really look good. I think what I'm going to do is leave a little bit of room here. Sort of like that. Do it that way. That might look a little better. Actually, it's not. It's not looking good at all. I think I'm just screwing it up. Damn. Lewis, sort of close. The way I heard it described, or the way I sort of think of it, is sort of what Lewis is saying there, where a highlight would be something like, I'm just gonna highlight just the C here. Like, just this, whereas an inline would be all the way around the letter. That's sort of one of the definitions I've heard of it. Another definition I've also heard of it, though, is where a highlight is a color that's actually lighter than your fill-in color, whereas an inline is a color that's darker than your fill-in color. So a highlight is physically lightening a piece up, whereas an inline is darkening it, but causing it to stand out because of how dark it is, if that's a reasonable explanation. The fine liner is far too thin, though, for this. This was a big mistake, adding the black, but I've started now, so I'm gonna finish it up with the black here. Maybe I'll just do like the top parts of the letters with this. As I've said many times before, this is what stickers are good for. Just sort of experimenting with stuff, especially if you really don't know if it's going to work. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work, sort of like this one, and then all you have is a little sticker that didn't work out. Rather than experimenting like on a good piece or a canvas you're trying to throw down on or something like that. A little nicer, a little nicer. So, I mean, even though I know this really isn't looking too great, just gonna finish it up. Can always go over it later if I want. Super important to experiment with things. Never forget that, because experimenting is sort of how you should be coming up with your own kind of style. It's, and really, like, your own style should be what you think of coming up with when you're, you know, working on your lettering, getting more complex, working on wild style, things like that. That's really what you're doing, is you're just coming up with your own style. I'm sure I sound like a broken record saying that, but it's the truth. And I say it so often because so many writers, it just seems like they don't really think of it that way. Yeah, it's too bad this black looks so bad, but not much I can do about it now. I will add some highlights, though, too. Hans, I am not from the UK. No, I am from Canada. I'm streaming right now at My time, it's about 3:30, just after 3:30 in the afternoon. So it is not evening like it is over where you guys are if you're in the UK. As I said before, though, I try and do these afternoon streams so that people in Europe are sort of able to tune in at a convenient time. If you guys know what I'm saying. Forgot a bit of 3D down there. Drop shadow, whatever. Here is where I should have used the black for like a background outline. This marker is running out that I'm using. It's a style file marker. I have nothing bad to say about style file markers, though. This one's lasted me a long time. They're pretty damn good markers, gotta say. Hey, Noah's here. Well, Vomit, that's nice that they carry the Oink ink in the stores that you're at. I didn't know like a lot of local, like actual physical stores carried that. So that's awesome, you could get your hands on it. Yeah, the only style file markers I have are like this little basic primary color set of 12 I have. Ooh, I have a review on YouTube of the markers, but overall the markers themselves, they perform really well. The only thing I don't like about them is their color indicators are like way off. A lot of them are so far off, it's ridiculous. Other than that, though, they're pretty good markers, gotta say. But I mean, to be honest, even my Copic markers, a lot of the colorings on them are like pretty far off as well. So I guess that's sort of a common issue in markers, which is strange. It seems like a simple thing that companies should be able to do right. Guess not, though. Just trying to spice up the fill-in here a little bit. People take for granted a lot of this like old school fill-in type stuff. A lot of it's really like I would recommend looking at a lot of like old school graffiti, not necessarily for the letter styles, because I think style in general has made a lot of progression throughout the history of graffiti, but look at a lot of the fill-in stuff they do, because a lot of the fill-ins and sort of the old school vibey stuff, it's got a lot of good stuff in it, and that's where you can get some good little ideas, that sort of thing. Same with backgrounds, you know, same sort of thing. My phone's ringing, unfortunately. I'm not gonna answer it right now. Lewis, you're thinking of writing craws. I will tell you my thoughts. Some people really like working with the letter O. I am not one of those people. And the reason for that is because the letter O is very rigid, you could say. It's not like if you're working with the letter like M, you can write an M that way, you can write an M that way, you can write an M that way. You can also write an M that way. Like, there's endless types of M's you can write. In terms of the letter O, you can write a letter O. You can write a letter O. Like, I don't know. There's different styles of O's as well. But I would say, in terms of, like, compared to other letters in the alphabet, O is one of the less dynamic ones. Other than that, I like the name. It's cool. It's definitely unique. It's important to be unique. But I mean, also, just because I'm hating on the letter O doesn't mean it's a bad name. Like, Boogie writes Boogie, and he's got two O's right freaking next to each other in his name, and his stuff is absolutely killer. So, don't worry about what I'm saying if you are set on that name. Yeah, Hans, I'm not quick to brag about writing illegally or anything like that. It's usually just not a wise thing to talk about on a public platform, so I don't usually talk too much about that on here. Like I was saying, though, being that I'm on YouTube, if I do write anything like illegally, it's smarter to have a different name for that. Just because Kino's a cool name. Has the O in it. The letter K, N, and E are super nice to work with. I love working with those. Hey, Harry, what's up? Oh, you just ordered the brush markers. That's cool. I didn't know they actually had the style files in brush marker. When I bought these ones, they may actually not have had them in brush yet. Anthony, illegal is the only real way. I mean, yeah, like, if you want to be literal about it, technically what we're doing here is drawing simulations of graffiti on stickers. Like, yeah, it's not graffiti because the definition of graffiti is sort of like it's done in an illegal setting. You can think of it like that. But I mean, if I go put these stickers up in public, then all of a sudden it is graffiti. So I guess if you want to think of it that way, then it's almost like these stickers I'm doing are not graffiti until the moment I place them on like a surface that's not mine. In which case it would have to mean that it doesn't really matter what's on the stickers. But if someone went and placed a blank one of these stickers up on a sign, most people wouldn't really consider it graffiti. In which case, then if that's true, it's almost like the design on the sticker is a necessary part of it being graffiti. So it's difficult to call, you know? A lot of people have different opinions on it, but yeah, I feel like if people are gonna say they do graffiti, they should sort of know what that means a little bit. Yeah, that's the thing, Harry. Like, a lot of really young writers, I get tons of people coming on here and asking me like, "Oh, do you paint illegally? You're not a real graph artist if you don't paint illegally, whatever." But people don't necessarily think of keeping themselves safe. Like, you need to be really cautious of what you're saying where, because make no mistake, like, police look into this stuff. They're online, and you can brag all you want about it online, but really it's not a good move to be bragging about what you do illegally in a public online setting. So that's why when people ask me about that kind of thing on here, I'm like, I don't feel the need to talk about it, because, like, yeah, I can either run my mouth on here and sound like a cool kid, right? And then get arrested, or I can not brag about it, do what I like, and I can still do it for me, you know? So the whole if you're gonna do like online YouTube stuff, Instagram stuff, it shouldn't really be to promote your illegal work, I don't think. Because it's a little bit more dangerous that way for you. So like, that's sort of why I don't feel the need to even hit back at all the people who are like, "Oh, you don't do real graffiti." It's like, yeah, but how would you know? You don't know me. You see what I post, and I choose what I post on here. Just because I'm not posting illegal stuff, why does that mean I'm not doing real graffiti? Does it mean you see everything of my art? No, you just see what I choose to post. And real graffiti artists are the ones that usually understand that. Like, if you watch any of the real-time web series stuff on Burst's channel, where he interviews New Zealand artists mainly and asks them stuff like that, there's always a question he asks about, what do you think about social media? And all the artists there, I think we can all agree, they're pretty much like real graffiti artists. They're real, and they've had more success with it than anyone else in the world. Every single one of them, their view is like, nah, the social media stuff is stupid. You shouldn't be on social media to like post your stuff. Just go out and do graph the real way, and don't worry about bragging about it online, because it just, I don't know, it just makes you look dumb. So yeah, I never really care about like what people online think of what I'm doing, or what they think I'm doing, what they think I'm not doing. Just because it's like, totally, if they're dumb enough to judge me based on what I post on my YouTube channel, then I don't want to justify myself to them anyway. These are the things you sort of have to figure out. Yeah, Lewis, I'll say this too. If you're struggling finding a name, another way you can sort of choose one is just sort of start writing random words, and I think you'll find eventually there's sort of a name you sort of keep writing, just because there'll probably be one where it's like, oh hey, I like writing that, and you'll write it naturally again and again, and then that'll sort of become your name. I know some people have chosen a name that way, and that's worked for them. You can do that. That's a good way to figure out what letters you like writing. Keep in mind, though, a really well-rounded graffiti artist should be good at writing all the letters of the alphabet. You should sort of make yourself, even after you've chosen a name, it's good to make yourself practice writing different words, enter battles and that sort of thing, to get exposure to trying to work with different letters. For the longest time, I just wrote Skiz, and it was like Skiz everything. And, like, that's fine, but at one point I realized, like, damn, I really don't know how to write, like, a good piece with the letter T in it, or a good piece with the letter U in it. I don't know how to work with these letters. And from there, I found it really crucial for me to start working with other letters, and that really helped me develop. I don't know why I'm using a fine liner for this. I thought it would be like a cool effect. It's not. Neko, that's a hardcore suggestion. I mean, that's not a bad suggestion, though. Like, if you want to improve and you're, like, serious about making yourself improve, yeah, start writing stuff that you're uncomfortable with. That's how you're gonna get yourself used to that kind of thing. And when you're not comfortable writing a letter, you're gonna be a little more creative about how you write it too, because you don't have those set in stone methods of how you usually write it, if you haven't done it a lot yet or at all. So it's not a bad suggestion. I know you're sort of kidding, Neko, but like, yeah, you can sort of work with that. But yeah, like anything, choosing a name, writing a name, a lot of it's experimentation, trial and error. So you don't expect it to necessarily come quick or anything. And it's okay for it not to. That's another thing, if you watch any of like the real-time web series with Burst, all the writers on there, he asks them, like, okay, what do you write? What have you written in the past? And they've all been through names. A lot of people write several things before they get to the one they want. Some people write different things simultaneously, too. Like, I remember watching the one with Fat One, TMZ. And I think he's in G-Back, too, I don't know. But he was saying like he writes Fat One. He also writes Fries as sort of like a jokish type thing, and I thought that was pretty awesome. There's no downsides to working with more than one name, I'll say that. Like, you won't have the same name up as much if you're out in the streets and stuff, but you'll still know what you've done, what you've covered, you know? It's another awesome thing about, like, that's sort of how you can tell who's a seasoned writer and who isn't. Are these people you're watching able to work with every letter? It's a nice thing about watching Green Ranger. He tests out like all the products they sell there, and just does a bunch of tags with them, and you can tell like he's got a very good general style, and he puts like legitimate style in every single letter and every single name, even though he's never written a lot of the names that people ask him to write from his Instagram and that sort of thing. So you can tell like he's been around the block and he knows what he's doing. That's super good to see. So I think we got about 7 minutes left here. Let me just check on that. Yeah, got about 7-8 minutes left here. So in a little bit, I'm gonna do my roll call. We'll get some names up here. I like doing the roll calls too, just for that practice, you know? I get to try out all your names, see what you guys are working with, dealing with, having to write. Sort of how I think of graffiti sometimes, like how am I gonna take this annoying word and make it look good? It's not easy sometimes. I'm super awake from all that coffee now. Love it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend coffee though. Sometimes it messes with you, gets you really jittery and weird. If you try and like have less of it than normal. Oh damn, Neko, that's awesome. I'm super jealous. Wish Green Ranger did a full piece for me. He's a cool guy. Need different colors. Want better colors. Antwerp blue, what the hell? What is that? We are gonna see. Lately I've been doing my letter I's like this, like a really huge dot, you know, and just a small stick. It really helps them out, to be honest. Makes them look a lot better than what I was trying to fumble around with before. my most uncomfortable letter, Neko, is probably, to be honest, I hate the letter I, but I'm stubborn and I've been writing this name for 9 years, so I'm not changing it. Letter T is a little not fun either. Letter O and letter Q. I like the letters you can just bend. Like, you can bend them every which way and they still look like the letter without even trying, really. So yeah, probably letter T is definitely worse than the letter I. Letter O is probably worse than letter T, though. I would say my least favorite is the letter O. Because when I'm trying to do, like, a huge, wild piece, something, like, pretty tough, letter O, it's just hard to make it, like... It's hard to make it complex. And sometimes, like, if you can't make it complex, then the whole piece sort of looks like that one letter let the piece down. And the letter O has done that to me a few times. It's a hard one to work with. Hey, Tris, what's up? So once I finish this, we're going to do our roll call here. And get everyone's names up. Who's been in the chat, you know? Finish this one off first, though. I'm trying to hurry a little bit because I think my time's running out. Do some nice highlights. Put a quick background outline on here. And then we'll do our roll calls. Nice. All right. All right, everyone, if you want your name up, put it in the chat. I'm gonna get some names done up here. And what I've been trying to do is do them on the back of the stickers that I have used in the stream, so I know which ones I did in the stream, who was with me when I was doing those slaps, that kind of thing. Alright, so we got post. Post. Beso. Roll call is like a term for when you usually, like, I think it originated from putting people's names up on like a wall that you were doing, like a crew wall. So a roll call would be like when you shout out all your crew members by putting their names up. But we got like 3 minutes, so I'm going to rush through this. Beso. Ooh, nice. Paihi? Gotta let me know how to pronounce that too. Yeah, roll call is sort of like an old term. Slump Gan, yes. That's an awesome name, by the way. Very unique. We got Mena. I'll put Mena up too. Vomit, we gotta get Vomit up there. Ooh. Got a Malo. Oh, Mina. Okay, got it. Anyone else I missed? You're welcome, Draco. DJ Matt, thank you. Alright, I'm gonna get going because the stream's gonna get cut off. But I'm gonna try and stream again Saturday. So if any of you guys are around the same time, like Saturday-ish, any of you guys want to tune in, hit me up. Peace.